B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
How do you see Southeast Asia in the APAC region? How does it, I would say, level compared to others? And out of the 4 pillars, which would you think it lacks the most?
Everything, quite honestly, but I think capacity building is definitely important in terms of, I think it's a lot of culture plays a very, very big role. I think it's deep-rooted in Asia, especially because we are, as I think we spoke earlier as well, but how we have to play our role as a woman, as a wife, as we have our role in the society, expected role in the society, and whatever we do in business, we seem as, oh, you're the black sheep, kind of. And I mean, it's changing, but that's something I'm seeing. It's a little bit different from, let's call it Scandinavian countries. They're a little bit more leveled. I think this is where we see that we have to play more roles in terms of bringing more role models, everyday champion, not just the few that stands out in the pedestal, but I'd like to bring up more of a role models on an everyday champion level.
Going back to our digital site in Australia, you mentioned, there was a Black Swan Summit earlier this year in Perth, and they talked a lot about digital trade, I think, and that's becoming a new trend. More and more people are looking for countries to digital trade between each other for cross-border payments and cross-border relations. What would you say your key takeaways from the summit?
Well, I think, first of all, it's like I was really happy to see a diverse background of people. I mean, Australia is quite a geography for any one of us to reach. Of course, Malaysia, Singapore would be like 5 hours, but I was very happy to see some Japanese people being there, and it's a good diverse mix of people who were interested. And the support of the government, I was really impressed. And also to know that there's not much happening in terms of the startup ecosystem support as of yet, not much venture capital. And, you know, obviously the startup ecosystem is one that a lot of government is supporting right now, because innovation comes from startup mostly, and we have to support that, right, at the academic level to policy level to. So I've seen quite promising support from the Australian government, and I thought that was incredible. And in terms of obviously going back to how the digital tool can play is a long way of all the things we spoke about. I think MSMEs, SMEs will be able to utilize these digital tools that's available that can scale their businesses. But it's not just a buy-in from the management, but people who is down the line as well, to be able to know why it is important. And those conversations are, I think, education based with these events. I think that should happen more.
How do you see the relationship between Malaysia, Australia, Singapore in terms of supporting SMEs in digital trade?
So it's a big thing connecting the 3 countries, but I think cross-border payments, all these infrastructural tools, tech tools, digital tools that we have is really blurring the line. And as I always use this word, to scale, it's so potential, as in your product, your services are no longer just around yourself, but it can broaden, right? And the jurisdiction, all of that is actually taken care by the technological innovation, invention. And now also the regulatory, the framework is being now taken seriously about how we can minimize the friction. So I think for the SMEs are more like learning step by step, more like we as Women in Tech as well can provide more campaigns, more events, more workshops, working together with the government or the regulatory policy providers to say, okay, this is happening. A lot of governments are doing that already. I think Singapore is really doing that. Malaysia is doing that. Australia definitely, to educate what's happening. That's really information is crucial. We know exactly on the ground what we are doing, and we work with the people, we work with the communities. So use us to translate that, disseminate that information. And I think it starts from education.
Going back to banking.
Yes.
With over 20 years of experience in banking, IT, and emerging technologies, how would you assess the current state of banking and financial technologies in APAC?
Well, I think it's a lot of mix, right? Like conventional banking going digital, and there's incumbent neobanks and all of that. And every country has its maturity level, and you have to really, in Asia, you have to kind of break it down to the acceptance level, right? Like you have different category of populace, let's call it, and then QR code is going widely spread. You don't almost in every country, like you don't need cash. But again, Japan, I'm Japanese, so I'll speak a little bit about Japan, but we are known as a very tech-driven, very highly advanced tech country, but we still use cash, for example, right? And QR code is there. We have different kind of methods as well. So I think I see a lot of different use cases, let's call it, and a different level of usage. It's really, like, I would say, unique place right now that everything is existing. And it's also complex, and but opportunity as well for any banking products, any financial products, fintech products, or more like fintech that conventional banks should partner with, not to be an incumbent. And I guess there's so much opportunity.
All right, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and it's great to hear about the great initiatives that you're doing and you're working on. And well, looking forward to meeting you more
Absolutely.
in the future. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been with B2B Cambodia. Thanks for watching. Join us next time as we continue to bring you more news, updates, and developments from the business community in the Kingdom of Cambodia and the region.